Hey everyone, today we're diving into the history of socialist libertarianism and answering an interesting question. How did libertarian go from meaning anti-capitalist anarchist to being associated with right-wing free market advocates? Let's break it down. Libertarian socialism has deep roots in 19th century radical movements. The core idea, a stateless, decentralized society where workers control their own labor, without capitalism or authoritarian government. Some of the early thinkers include Pierre-Joseph Proudhon, who famously said,
"Property is theft."
He envisioned a world of worker cooperatives and mutual aid. Mikhail Bakunin, who fought for an anarchist society free from both state and capitalist control. One interesting thing about anarchist philosophers, most of them were poor. Proudhon was born into a working-class family and had to educate himself while working in a print shop. Bakunin, though from nobility, was exiled and lived in extreme poverty for much of his life. Errico Malatesta spent decades as a fugitive, surviving on odd jobs while organizing workers' movements. But there's one major exception: Peter Kropotkin. He was actually born a Russian prince. But instead of living in luxury, he rejected his aristocratic title and spent his life advocating for anarchist communism. He believed that humans naturally cooperate and that the society should be based on voluntary, decentralized cooperation, not governmental control. His book, Mutual Aid, challenged the idea that competition drives evolution. Instead, he argued that species, including humans, survive best through cooperation and solidarity. But there's one big issue: his choice of words. Kropotkin called his philosophy anarcho-communism, and unfortunately the term communism became heavily associated with authoritarian regimes like the Soviet Union and Mao's China. That's led to a lot of confusion. Kropotkin wasn't advocating for a dictatorship or state control. He wanted the exact opposite: voluntary, stateless socialism. But because of the word communism, many people mistakenly lump anarchists and authoritarian socialist ideas together. For most of the 19th and early 20th centuries, libertarian was basically a left-wing term. But in the mid-20th century, things started to change, especially in the United States. During this time, classical liberals who wanted minimal government and unrestricted capitalism started using libertarian to describe their ideas. Thinkers like Murray Rothbard and Ayn Rand helped push this shift, advocating for free markets and private property, rejecting socialist and anarchist roots of the word. So today, the meaning of libertarian depends on where you are. In much of Europe and Latin America, libertarian socialism still means what it always did: opposing both capitalism and state control. But in the US, libertarian is now mostly associated with right-wing free market ideology, thanks to decades of rebranding. Now, if you're wondering what modern political movement aligns closest with socialist libertarianism, look no further than the Green Party. Unlike mainstream left-wing parties that tend to favor state-driven solutions, the Green Party embraces decentralization, worker cooperatives, and local democracy, all key values in socialist libertarianism. Their focus on environmental justice and social equality also align with anarchist traditions of mutual aid and sustainability. So, next time you hear someone call themselves libertarian, it could mean something very different depending on who you're talking to.